Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, we're going to take a look at how to install oh-my-zsh, and we'll configure it. We'll use PK10 to also configure some settings and get your terminal looking a little bit better. And then we'll also configure it inside of a IDE, something like Visual Studio's Code or anything else that you may want to use. All right, guys, let's jump in and let's get started. Once again, guys, be sure to stick around for the entirety of the video as I give most of my insights towards the end of the lesson. All right, with that being said, let's jump in. Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're well. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to set up oh-my-zsh. But before we do so, I had a few questions on the channel and I just want to answer them real quickly. So this one goes out to Jermaine. He asked me a question about in his zshrc file, Visual Studio's Code is empty. What should he do? So since we're talking about this stuff right now, I'm just going to quickly address it. In my case, I have an alias set up for getting the command to go to zsh, and I just type it as zs. So if you check this stuff, you'll see that it's an alias, which is just like I use code, which is Visual Studio's Code, and there's the tilde, the /, the dot, and the zshrc file. I hope that answers your question, Jermaine. And the other thing was, some of you guys noticed that my terminal, it doesn't have anything here on the side. I had a really good question by Nitin, and it kind of stumped me for a little bit, and I don't really like being stumped, but I had to answer this one too, so I want to just give him a shout out, and I'm going to answer this question. There is like a tab bar over here and an icon that sometimes shows up. And the reason that is, if you go to System Preferences and you jump out to, let's say, type in scroll bar, okay, so scroll bar behavior. And I noticed that I had this automatically based on mouse trackpad to be set up. So which was kind of the way that it's just hidden here. If you set it to always, then it shows up with the actual, sidebar over here. And his question was, why was this happening? Is there anything you can do? And, this is where he was getting this kind of secondary list of all of the default settings that you can have in the profile. And you have the scroll bar. So depending if you like that, just turn it back on. I think by default, I turned mine off, and depending on your operating system, what version of macOS you're using, I think it might just be on by default, but I like it here. It's up to you. And, I hope that answers your question. And without further ado, we'll get started with this lesson, okay? So first up, we should make sure that we have zsh installed. So if you type in with zsh, you'll see that it's here if you have it installed via Homebrew. If you don't have it installed or using another shell, you want to update that shell, you can type in brew install zsh. I won't run this command because in my case, it's already there, right? So you can also do a quick check by saying zsh -- version, and that will tell you the version that you're currently on and what platform you're running it on. Okay, let's open up your browser and we're going to paste this in. So really, I'm just going to the official source here. So this is where you're going to go and grab the actual command that you need, and we'll paste this inside of our terminal. If this pops up because you've had an update in your platform or you've updated something inside of your operating system, you're going to have to agree to this, okay? Hey guys, what's up? Kevin here. I just want to give a big shout out to my subscribers. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Be sure to give the videos a like, a thumbs up, and start a conversation. Much appreciated. Now let's get back to the video. So we could do this in the terminal by using the sudo command, but we're just going to take a shortcut here and just make this easier for everyone else. We're just going to open up XCode. So once you have XCode open, you just have to read this, give them your firstborn. Just kidding. Just read the documentation, go through, see what the agreement's about, and then agree, okay? And then you have to usually follow that by some administrative password. And depending what you have going on, you can install whatever you need. For this, I'm just going to leave the built-in right now. If you want, you can choose these here, and you can download and install. But the key thing is to actually just install the components and agree. Now, this may take a moment depending on your machine, but it shouldn't be that long. And we'll try this again. And I think it should be okay now. Once we've agreed to that, it'll start to clone what we need. If you see this little error here where it says get clone fail, that's just because I just hit Q and I quit and the agreement wasn't quite done yet. So let's clear this. And as you can see, just right away, your terminal starts to look a little bit different. We're gonna do a little bit more things around this to kind of configure this and tweak it and make it a little more advantageous for you guys. And once again, it's a good practice to kind of inspect the install. So if you're not sure what is being installed, you can always go to the GitHub repo, guys, and you can always check and see that you're comfortable with everything that is going on. Once again, because I have that alias, I'm gonna type in zsh. Notice that this command is no longer found. So let's try to open this up in Visual Studio's Code. And you'll see that the file that I showed you before, if you remember, we had a bunch of things that was kind of empty. And this goes back to that question by Jermaine, you know, what do I do with this? Why is it empty? When we installed oh-my-zsh, it added a bunch of things to that zsh file. Now be careful, because if you had some aliases or some things that you had before, and you had them all set up, you're going to have to like copy those and make sure that those are saved, because they will be gone, and it will replace whatever was in this .zshrc file with what is currently installed. Just to let you know, there will be more lessons in this series, so don't forget to click the notification bell and get informed when the new lessons in this series drops. Thanks again, guys. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys next time.